Hello everybody, it's Emery48 here and welcome back to another Star Wars Legends novel. Tonight is Coruscant Nights 3, Patterns of the Force by Michael Reaves. The previous two books in this series is already on the channel and have already been discussed. It takes place in 18 BBY, which is 1 year after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and the same year as Coruscant Nights 2, Street of Shadows. This book was also found for $8. There's a lot of things in this book where it says that the Boda was picked up by I-5 decades ago, which I don't understand how that works. This is an 18 BBY. Clone Wars was around 19, ended in 19, and I believe that's when he got the Boda. So I don't understand that. Other than that, this is an incredible book, and probably the best one in the series so far. Any summary I give of this book will not portray fully the intense just fear of threat around any corner that seems to portray throughout this book for at least the last 90% of it. There's always something that could go very, very wrong. And unlike some Star Wars books, things do go very wrong in this one. We'll start off with Prologue. Renan still wants the Boda. He knows either Jax or I-5 have. The team is still helping House solve murders. Part 1, Sins of the Father. Chapter 1, Jax had a dream where he spoke with Anakin in the temple library. An event that had happened, but at the end of their conversation in the dream, Anakin burst into flames. After waking up, he and I-5 were visited by Tudin Sal, who I-5 immediately aimed at, knowing the visitor. Chapter 2, Cajun Sevaros is hiding from Inquisitors in the same section of Coruscant Jax and his crew operate. Kaj is not a Jedi, but he is Force sensitive. Tudin Sal apologized to I-5 for trying to wipe his mind around the time of Lorn Pavan's death, and betraying Lorn by never delivering the data cube to the Jedi. He also explained that the reason he was unable to do that was because then Senator Palpatine had instructed someone to destroy and take over his businesses. Tudin Sal then revealed that he wants I-5 to assassinate Chancellor Palpatine. Chapter 3, Deja, Den, and Renan have finally all agreed on something, that I-5 should not attempt to assassinate Palpatine. Jax is undecided, and I-5 is waiting for input from all before making his decision. Darth Vader has ordered Inquisitor Probus Tesla to find Jax Pavan, and more importantly, the droid I-5 that accompanies the Jedi. Now, this is intriguing because I believe this is the first time we see Inquisitors at all in the timeline. This is the first mention of them, I think. So that's very exciting. Chapter 4. Renan has learned that Tesla is asking around about himself, Jax, Den, and I-5. The only associate Tesla seemingly does not know about yet is Deja, so he bought a flight off-planet with her funds for the next day and hopes to steal the Boda off I-5 before the flight. While heading to one of the Whiplash headquarters to talk to Loranth about the trustworthiness of Sal and his plan, Jax felt a disturbance in the Force. Chapter 5. Tesla has tracked a target who used the Force into an old maintenance alley/tunnel. Jax bumped into Loranth as they both were following the vibrations in the Force. Tesla had actually found Kaj, who was very elusive and much more powerful than Tesla had imagined. Tesla, in his attempt to capture the unknown Force sensitive, struck himself with a lot of Force lightning. Kaj had escaped and was found by Jax and Loranth, who had witnessed the fight. They decided it was best to leave before the Inquisitor woke up. Chapter 6. Jax and Loranth brought Kaj back to the group's apartment. Loranth left when Deja arrived. Jax then announced Kaj as his new Padawan. In private, Den told I-5 his worries of having an undisciplined Force sensitive in their group. Renan is worried Kaj is a mole planted by the Empire to catch Jax, but has not shared his thoughts, just accelerated his plans to steal the Boda and leave. Chapter 7. Jax trained Kaj for hours and then was interrupted by Deja, who broke Kaj's focus. Renan asked I-5 about the Boda, but he would not reveal its location. House arrived, telling Jax that a rogue Force sensitive killed an Inquisitor, and Darth Vader has ordered him to find the rogue. House wants Jax and his team to help, knowing Jax is a Jedi, but not responsible for the Inquisitor's death. House will not report Jax if he helps catch the killer. Chapter 8. House said he wants to find the rogue, tell Vader that he died in pursuit, and deliver him to other Jedi for training. Chapter 9. Jax and Deja have realized that Vess's light sculptures are able to block the Force, and Deja couldn't read people either. She realized Vess had been building those to block himself from her the whole time. In private, Renan has told Deja about the Boda, and she was surprised Jax had never told her about it. Tesla and Vader met. They think House is working for them. I really have no clue which side he is on. Chapter 10. Renan confronted Den about the Boda, who said he doesn't know where it is. Deja and Den have formed an alliance, unsure if I-5 is stable, likely looking to avenge Lorne Pavon, getting Jax in danger on the way. Chapter 11. Kaj had a Force freakout, and Jax was able to talk him down from it. Den and I-5 spoke about the Boda, and Deja and Renan's doubts. I-5 has reassured Den. They then saw a trio of Inquisitors asking a brief question to a shopkeeper, then leave quickly after it seemed like one of them sensed something elsewhere. I-5 has told Whiplash to have Sal contact him the next day. That is his deadline to make his decision. Chapter 12. Tesla is the Inquisitor that sent Kaj. He is accompanied by Urel Shale and Mas Sarah. Deja reluctantly allowed Jax and Kaj to move into Vez's studio and alter the works to better conceal their presence in the Force from anyone outside. As Den and I-5 arrived back at the apartment, they saw the Inquisitors investigating. They got I-5 a disguise and will use that same disguise to get Kaj out. Chapter 13. Den, I-5, and Kaj took off with Kaj in disguise. He started to panic once they saw an Inquisitor who seemed suspicious of their airspeeder, but went in fast pursuit of something else. Jax had distracted the Inquisitor with the use of the Force on an upper level of the apartment building above their actual apartment. He then stopped using the Force and took an elevator all the way below their complex and waited before it was safe to head to the art studio. Loranth arrived at the studio shortly before Jax. Kaj sat in the middle of many light sculptures set up by Den. I-5 is adjusting the settings to limit the amount of the Force that exits the circle. Renan is considering going back to Vader and turning on Jax and Kaj, thinking that it is his best chance at survival and getting access to the Boda. Chapter 14. House visited the apartment, finding only Renan, who called Jax, telling House they had no info on the rogue Jedi. Chapter 15. With a practice lightsaber and a droid, Jax put Kaj through some lightsaber training. Kaj got angry and narrowly missed killing Jax in a fit of rage. Jax was able to calm him down, knowing what the main lesson Kaj needed was, keeping his anger in check. I-5, Den, and Deja arrived at the studio. Loranth left yet again. The group called Renan. I-5 asked the group for their vote. Den and Renan vote no. Deja votes yes, and Jax said he needs to meet with the Whiplash leader, Thizon Yiman, before deciding. Chapter 16. Jax has met with Loranth, who is taking him to Yiman. Den, after receiving a message from his potential lover on his home planet, has decided to leave, packed, and left the studio. Yiman revealed that House is one of the more original Whiplash operatives and can be trusted. He had been a police officer long before the Empire and is not necessarily loyal to the new Empire. Jax also got advice on the Emperor assassination plan from Loranth and Yiman. Chapter 17. Renan has packed up and left the apartment, joining the group at the studio. Sal arrived just before Jax did. Den has also surprisingly returned. Jax stated that if he approved the assassination mission, then he would be an advocate for the dark side. Deja was upset, telling Jax he is wrong. I-5 played Lorne's last message to Jax, where he explained why he was going after Darth Maul, because no one else could. Jax was crying by the end of the message and knew he had to go after the Emperor because no one else could. Part 2, The Ties That Bind. Chapter 18. Deja and Renan took Kaj out for a walk while House visited I-5 and Jax at the studio. Kaj was spotted by an Inquisitor. Deja, Renan, and Kaj split up. Deja and Renan were able to hide in plain sight and were ignored by the Inquisitors. Kaj bumped into Loranth and was confronted by Tesla. Kaj was shocked, sending a Force wave at Tesla, knocking him back. Loranth had shot at his position, but the Force push meant Loranth's shot hit a truck instead, bursting it into flames. Chapter 19, Jax joined the fight, causing 3 separate 1v1s. Jax cut off the leg of Ural. I-5 then shot him, killing Ural as he was about to launch a desperate final attack. Loranth was losing to Moss. Kaj had sent Tesla into rubble and sent the Force at Mass, who he atomized. During that attack, Tesla escaped. He is bleeding out, but has escaped, and will need to be picked up by inquisitorial medics. Chapter 20. The group returned to the studio, finding Den actually gone this time. Jax realized he could sense I-5 through the Force when he had large emotions. This realization has changed Jax's vote back to no, knowing the Emperor will sense him coming from his intentions. Chapter 21. Tesla has reported to Vader. Chapter 22. The new assassination plan will have Jax go in with I-5 as his handler. Jax will be disguised as an Inquisitor. They will strike Palpatine during a Senate debate. Renan has concluded that Jax will have the Boda on him during the assassination attempt. Chapter 23. Kaj and Loranth are trapped in a hallway filling with a drug mist on their way from a safe house to the main base of operations for the Whiplash. Yaman called Jax, telling him Loranth and Kaj had been captured, which Jax had felt they were in danger. They have also concluded that there has been a betrayal in the Whiplash organization. The assumption is House saw Kaj as a threat to the Whiplash as a whole, so he exposed their route to keep Vader off the search of the rest of the area. Jax and Deja hope they can use the emotions Kaj left behind on his necklace to track them somehow. Renan will alert Sal that the assassination attempt will now become a rescue mission. Chapter 24. Kaj's mind has been wiped and he was brought to a very nice apartment in the highest levels of Imperial City. Tesla told Kaj that he is an Inquisitor being taught by Tesla, and they saved him from the Jedi who had captured and drugged him. Chapter 25. Wearing the Inquisitor outfit, Jax went into the Imperial complex, sensing Loranth and Vader, no Kaj. Jax left and returned to Whiplash. Jax has contacted Vader, setting up a trade for I-5 and Loranth. Vader showed Kaj Loranth in her cell. He yelled out Jedi and spat. Chapter 26. Deja, Renan, and Jax in the Inquisitor outfit bring I-5 to the trade. Vader, Kaj, and Inquisitors have Loranth. Deja is the mole and reported that she had not found who has the Boda to Vader, and she apologized to Jax. This makes me very curious of when she turned on Jax, because there are some decisions that she kind of made in this book that were out of character, I guess. And it would be interesting to know when that discussion between her and Vader actually took place, or her and Tesla. Chapter 27. Loranth gave up the Boda to save Jax. Vader took it, meaning to analyze it, I believe, with his suit, but taking it instead. He started firing Force power into the room at random and killed Deja, who was taking in the feeling. Tesla and Jax fought when Vader randomly struck Tesla with another Force blast. A team of Whiplash operatives entered, including Yaman, Sal, and very surprisingly, Den. Vader with the Force took Kaj and Jax toward a window. Chapter 28. Renan was angry and went after Vader, tearing at his breathing apparatus. Vader took Renan with him out the window. Renan died before their impact and finally felt part of the Force. As Jax realized Tesla had escaped, the building shook and the room started collapsing around them, so they all left. Chapter 29. Whiplash is sending Kaj off-planet to go with the Silent to hope they can heal his presence in the Force and restore his memory. Jax and Loranth have made up, having a romantic moment in the Force together, linking fingers and minds. The team reunited in a new apartment den. I-5, Jax, and Loranth talk with Chan Dash, who is a new person asking them for help. That wraps up Coruscant Nights 3. And I believe it is the last Coruscant Nights book, but it is not our last book with Jax, Pavon, and this team. For how good this book was, I am very much looking forward to how this team's story wraps up. We've killed off a few of the dead weight, including Renan and Deja, and now we can kind of reset back into the full original team and possibly go back after Vader and Tesla one last time. That's all I have for Coruscant Nights 3. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.